Hi, welcome to Just Praise the Ministries. Welcome all of you. Nikki, Tom, Karen, Janice, all of you guys, welcome. Um, I want to talk to you today about a message, a sermon title called Why, Lord, Why? It seems that we go through things and we ask the Lord why we had to go through things. And sometimes He answers it and sometimes He doesn't. Um, but it all works out in the end. Sometimes it's the devil. I mean, the devil will put us in a bad situation. Sometimes others put us in bad situations. Um, and sometimes we ourselves we'll make mistakes and put ourselves in bad situations. But God works all things out for good to those who love Him. Now, I want to give you an example of this. I want to go through Paul. Paul was on a ship. Now let's see, Acts 27. I'm just gonna 27 9 through 11. Now, when much time had been spent sailing, was now dangerous because the fast was already over. Paul advised them, saying, "Men, I perceive that this voyage will end with disaster and much loss, not only of the cargo and ships, but also of our lives." Nevertheless, the centurion was more persuaded by the helmsman and the owner of the ship than by the things that were spoken by Paul. Now, a little um, little recap here. Paul was on his way to Italy, to Rome, and they thought that they should take him by ship. And Paul said, "No, no, this is not good. This'll this is dangerous." And they took him on the ship, and the ship was messed up. The ship ran aground. Well, actually, the ship was in the middle of a storm, and they were panicking. They were, oh my God, this is the worst thing that could happen to us. And then in Acts 9 27 21 26, it reads, "But after a long absence from food, when then Paul stood in the midst of them and said, 'Men, you should have listened to me and not have sailed from Crete and incurred this disaster and loss. And now I urge you to take heart, for there will be no loss of life among you, but only to the ship.'" Okay, so he's telling them that, the ship's lost, the ship's going to run aground, but we're going to be okay. "For there stood by me this night an angel of God, and to whom I belong, excuse me, and to whom I serve, saying, 'Do not be afraid, Paul. You must be brought before Caesar. And indeed, God has granted you all those who sail with you. Therefore, take heart, men, for I believe God that it will be just as it was told me. However, we must run aground on an island.'" So here's Paul, uh, promised that he has to see Caesar. He's told by God, "Okay, I'm gonna, he's gonna see Caesar, but the ship's gonna run aground," and they end up in the island of Malta. Now, Malta is an island where we've been. I mean, not literally, but figuratively. We've been the places where, or situations or circumstances that we're not supposed to be in, that we were in because of others, because of decisions others make. See, sometimes others make decisions, sometimes others make plans, and it affects us to the point where we end up being judged or in a bad situation or a bad circumstance. It's now again, the devil could do it, others could do it, or you could do it. You can not obey God, not listen to God, and be in a bad situation. Well, here Paul was in a bad circumstance. He was supposed to see Caesar, but he ends up in the Isle of Malta. He ends up in a place where he's not supposed to be. Why, Lord? Why? Why does this have to happen to me? Well, why do I have to go through this? Well, Paul could say it. You can say it. I mean, it all depends on the circumstance. Why, Lord? Why me? Why do I have to go through this? Well, Paul's given word by the angel that they're not gonna die, that they're gonna run aground. And then in verse 3, but when call, oh yeah, by the way, it was cold in Malta and they were shivering. They were cold and shivering and asking, and I'm sure the question came out, why, Lord, why? Why? Because I'm cold. I'm in a place I'm not supposed to be. And it says in verse 28, 3 and 5, but when Paul had gathered a bundle of sticks and laid them on the fire, a viper came out because of the heat and fastened onto his hand. So when the natives saw this, the creature hanging from his hands, they said to one another, no doubt this man was a murderer, whom although he has escaped the sea, excuse me, though he escaped the sea, yet justice does not allow him to live. But now he shook off the creature into the fire and suffered no harm. Now I want you to notice something here. I want you to notice first that he had done nothing wrong. He was gathering sticks for the fire, and a snake came out and bit him. A snake came out and bit him from the fire. And immediately, the people were downing him. They were saying, look, this is something wrong. He's a murderer. Justice was found upon him. It's comical that people will say that you're being judged by God. People will be saying that this is God's way of punishing you. When God is in the judgment business, he's under the grace business. Okay? He's in the grace business. But people will judge you. People will say, hey, this is wrong. This is he's in the wrong. Yet he was in the right. Yet a snake came out and bit him. And this is where the prophet Taylor Swift comes in. And the player's gonna play, and the hater's gonna hate. But he shook it off. Okay, but he shook it off. I know I'm just playing with the Taylor Swift, but he shook it off. He said to himself, I'm not going to answer these people. I'm just going to shake it off.